No collusion, there's no obstruction, they have nothing. It's a disgrace. We want to find out what happened with the last Democrat president. Let's look into Obama the way they've looked at me from day one. They've looked into everything that we've done. They could look into the book deal that President Obama made. Let's subpoena all of his records. Let's subpoena all of the records having to do with Hillary Clinton and all of the nonsense that went on with Clinton and her foundation and everything else.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we take a look at the latest new Q posts as they tell us to look closer at Obama's deal with Pearson Publishing to install the new Common Core textbooks for $350 million that he authorized through his administration. And then, just conveniently, as soon as he leaves office, that same publishing company offers him $65 million in a book deal. Not to mention the fact that the CEO is resigning, and Q told us it was going to happen. So you're going to want to stick around and check out that, plus a whole bunch of other news stories that are really important. Hi, my name is Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. We're going to get right into these latest new Q posts. Before we do that, I got to remind you, come here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you get notified. Yes, we do have new Q posts. We left off at Q post 3753. We're picking up at Q post 3754, and we got a lot to cover here, including breaking news stories that you guys are going to want to hear. But before we get into all that, I want to remind everybody to come back here, watch these last videos, share them on your social media, get the word out that way. You guys know the deal. It's a content suppression algorithm, so you guys break it by sharing the videos, hitting the share button on this video, and also just coming here. If you don't know anything about QAnon, you're totally new to this, watch this video right here. What is QAnon, the Great Awakening? It will give you all the information you need, plus a whole lot more. So before we get started, also, I have to remind everybody this video is brought to you in part by RedPillLiving.com/justinformed. You guys should come check out their products. They have these amazing liposomal vitamins. They have the Carbon 60, the chelation cream, so many great products for you and your family. I really would encourage you guys to come over here and check out RedPillLiving.com/justinformed. Don't forget to use the coupon code JUSTINFORMED to get 10% off the already discounted prices here on the website. So it's a great deal for you guys, and I encourage you all to check out their products. I personally love the liposomal vitamins. I use them, and they make me feel better, so I want you guys to go check those out as well. Now, getting into the latest Q post, let's just jump right into it. First off, this is Q pointing us back here in the latest post, and we only have a couple to cover here, but we're going to cover these and a few big news stories as well. But it's telling us to look back at this older Q post, and why would we do that? Well, because it's very pertinent to what we're going to talk about here in this episode. First, let's go back and read it. It says, imagine what would happen if, by law, every U.S. congressman, woman, U.S. senator, president, etc. was by U.S. law audited every 1 to 2 years by an independent agency. Imagine what would happen if those audits extended to all family members of such elected officials. Would Democrats continue to push for foreign aid to other countries versus the homeland? What happens when the kickbacks dry up? Maxine Waters, $4 million house. Nancy Pelosi, net worth $150 million. Joe Biden, son, brother, net worth in the tens of millions. Clinton family, 200 plus million pre-election. Bill Clinton was worth less than 1 million. Obama, they're worth 40 million plus before the election, less than 1 million. Disguised under book deals? Those who take are offered more powerful positions within the party, controlled, drain the swamp, Q. So Q told us a very long time ago about how this whole system worked and how we could fix it tomorrow if we actually took seriously our Constitution and our republic as far as keeping it safe and secure from corruption and influence from foreign countries who in a lot of cases end up working adversarially against us, right? Think about that. But Q explains the whole racket here. What do? They go, okay, well, we'll sign a deal for Ukraine to get $5.3 billion, as Rudy Giuliani points out. And I'm going to show you that clip right now.
Love to see it. I want to show you one other document that I think probably gets the President of the United States angrier than anything else. And you'll see why in a minute. This is an accounting report going back to 2017. This is during the Obama administration. The Ukrainians located $5.3 billion in foreign aid that was being misspent. About 80% of that is our money. That's what he keeps saying about, he was worried about how Ukraine spends money. Here's the proof. Not, Adam Schiff lies. Here's the proof. Now, the Ukrainians started to investigate this. 2 people from our embassy went to see them and told them, don't investigate it. We don't care. We don't care about the $5.3 billion of our taxpayers' money. And you say, well, why would they do that? And then there was even a lot more pressure. Why would they do that? Because what this shows is that our embassy was giving this money not to the government. They were giving it to NGOs. You know who the biggest NGO owner is?
Yeah, George Soros.
Oh, my God, anti-Semitic. We're anti-Semitic now.
I know.
We said the word George Soros. I'll be damned if you're going to call me anti-Semitic.
There you saw Rudy Giuliani lay it out. $5.3 billion was misspent by the Ukrainian government, and 80% of it came from the United States. But nobody wants to investigate Hunter Biden and Burisma and the fact that CrowdStrike, the owner of CrowdStrike, one of them, I guess, is based out of Ukraine. No, nobody wants to go dig just a little bit deeper to understand that this is how they enrich themselves. They push foreign aid into these countries that then bring it back into their slush funds. Remember what Q told us back in January of 2018? Loop Capital, CEO, board of directors paying to play the slush funds. Does Hussein have a slush fund in Singapore worth $29 million? Did No Name McCain have one in Singapore worth $19 million? Did HRC and Bill Clinton have one in Banco de Mexico worth $15 million? Does Nancy Pelosi have one in Deutsche Bank worth $8 million? We have to ask these questions, but no. The fake news media shuts it down. As soon as you get a little bit beneath, start scratching beneath the surface to see what's actually there. Q explains the whole thing, then goes on to give us this Twitter post, right? This is from Michael Kudre, and it says, Obama gave Pearson Publishing a government contract worth $350 million for their work to create the Common Core text for administration's education initiative. A subsidiary of that same publisher gave Obama roughly $65 million for his book deal after he left office. And as I posted here in response, just ignore the treason. We got to figure out who's leaking all this information. No, that's not how we need to approach this. I think what we really need to do is have a deep investigation into Obama and the possibility of this pay-for-play scheme with Pearson Publishing. Because if they want to go after President Trump when all the facts, all the evidence surrounding the actual allegations made by the Democrats against President Trump, including the fact that, he's did a quid pro quo with Ukraine when he ended up giving them the money without them going and starting the investigation into the Bidens. Never mind that. This all actually did happen. Obama gave $350 million through his administration to the Pearson Publishing to create this Common Core text. And remember, these Common Core textbooks, Common Core is just another, in my opinion, if you've ever tried to look at it and understand it, it is meant to make kids dumber. So just another little nuance to put on top of all this, right? But that aside, let's talk about the fact that you have here an example of quid pro quo. You have $350 million being pushed through the Obama administration to this Pearson Publishing, but then right after he left office, they just go, here's $65 million for your book deal because it's going to be so great. I really think that this is disgusting and it needs to be investigated, and I really hope that these people are held accountable for their crimes. Q says, U.S. taxpayer, federal government to the federal government, Hussein to Pearson Publishing to Hussein, Biden, follow the money, corruption, Q. So obviously it's exactly what we just laid out. You and I pay our taxes, to the federal government, then Hussein takes power, then he funnels it to Pearson, who then funnels it back into his back pocket. You think there's not a pay-for-play going on there? Man, it's disgusting. And then is Biden involved? Did Biden have a book deal with this Pearson Publishing company? Did he get money in the back end? Or was it just his family and his friends, his brothers and his son, his brother and his son making tens of millions of dollars by pushing money through the federal government to these foreign governments who then funnel it back into their pockets? No, but if you or I did that, we'd be in federal prison. But when these corrupt, evil globalists, I don't want to use such a strong term that I'm thinking of here. I just want to say these corrupt, treasonous traitors, let's just say, they do it and they get away with it. They get parades. They get treated like, idols in the press, which is just another disgusting effect of all of this. But It's corruption, man. It is corruption 110%, and nobody seems to really care. The next one here is this Twitter post where, oh, look at that. It just so happens that last week, the Pearson CEO is retiring, has announced his retirement. Wow, and they're selling Penguin Random House. Oh, no big deal. They're just selling the publishing company that they owned and used to funnel the $65 million to Obama as a quid pro quo exchange for him giving them the contract to publish the Common Core textbooks. Nothing to see here, folks. Ignore the treason. Let's go find the messengers and start deleting their accounts and wiping them off of, throwing them in the memory hole, because heaven forbid that we actually had a sliver of truth in all of this. No, we don't get that. You know what we get? We just get more lies, more deception, more fake news media, their corporate interests. They only care about protecting the corporate interests, protecting the narrative that keeps them all from being put on trial for their crimes against this country, because they think globalism's great. Well, that's great. You can go do business in China, but when you're covering up for politicians who are selling our weapons, secret technology, military technology to the Chinese, when you're covering up for corrupt politicians who are selling all of our uranium to the Russians, when you're covering up for corrupt politicians who are engaged in the most despicable, horrific, satanic acts on a pedophile's island in the Caribbean, at what point do they become the enemy of the people? At what point? Because President Trump says the fake news is the enemy of the people, and I think that's 100% true. So if they're the enemy of the people, I guess at what point would they become enemy combatants in trying to cover up the criminal actions of people who are trying to destroy this country and commit acts of complete evil and evil atrocities? I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on all this. Don't forget, back in July of this year, President Trump was calling for a probe of this book deal. And as you saw in the opening clip, a probe into the corrupt Clinton Foundation. So don't kid yourselves for 1 second and think that these people really want to get the truth out to you. When I talk about these people, I'm talking about all these corrupt politicians, these big tech fascists who want to be the thought police and throw people in the memory hole and just erase information and rewrite history, airbrush us out of it like Stalin would. That's what they would be more in favor of than actually letting the American people exercise their freedoms and their rights to actually expose this criminality. They would rather sweep it under the rug and say, you're not authoritative. Oh, really? And CNN and MSNBC, the companies that lie to us every single day and cover up for these crimes, they're authoritative? It really makes you think. Now, Pelosi is responding to President Trump, and she's putting out these more lies, more edited clips. I mean, it's amazing to me how they think they can just get away with bold-faced lying to the American people. They use this political ad to go out and show, because President Trump said this, and I'll read the tweet because it's really a really good one. Nancy Pelosi's district in California has rapidly become one of the worst anywhere in the U.S. When it comes to the homeless and crime, it has gotten so bad so fast, she has lost total control, and along with her equally incompetent governor, Gavin Newsom, it is a very sad sight. And he also said that if Gavin Newsom didn't fix the homeless problem, that he was going to do it. But then she responds with this, the facts are clear and every witness told the same story despite the president's attempt to cover it up. President Trump abused his power for his own personal gain. She completely cuts the parts out where they say there was no quid pro quo. The same people they called to testify against President Trump said there was no quid pro quo. Yet here we are, once again, looking at Democrat lies, propaganda, it's misinformation. At what point, again, at what point does this cross into a criminal offense, right? When you're lying to the American people, you're trying to frame a president for something he didn't do. At what point does it cross that line? And that's really the question we have to continue to ask ourselves. I think it's getting to the point where it's something has to change here, because obviously you have Clinton whistleblower now coming forward talking about the feds probing Adam Schiff being dressed like an Egyptian at bizarre sacrifice party at Ed Buck's meth mansion. You can't make this stuff up. This is from last month, but it's just as important today. Look, Adam Schiff, the same guy, Shifty Schiff, Pencil Neck Schiff, the guy that President Trump calls a corrupt politician on a regular basis, was over dressed like an Egyptian at this Ed Buck's meth mansion, doing sacrifice parties. Yet these are the arbiters of truth and morality in our society. It's a joke. These people are a joke, and they're criminals and they're corrupt, and we're going to expose them. Now, here, Trump was right in 2018. He called on the FISA court judge to actually call in James Comey, Sally Yates, Andrew McCabe, and Rod Rosenstein and press criminal charges for them forwarding this false information to the FISA court. But now it came out that, oh yeah, the FISA courts rebuked the FBI. Well, that doesn't do anyone any good, especially not since all the damage has already been done and nobody's paying any consequences for any of this stuff. And it's going to affect the 2020 election. I mean, there is so much criminal corruption inside of our government that is still deeply rooted within the Democratic Party and other factions in the Department of State and the Department of Justice in other places. I say more overly the Department of Justice, and we're trying to root it all out. But it is so prevalent now that we have to address this, and we have to address it with a strong, swift action. We have to put these people at least under indictment and put them to trial for these crimes. You can't get away with this, but nobody seems to want to, really go full on at it. So that's pretty much where we're going to wrap it up. I hope you guys like this shorter type episode. I really want to just get the information out as it's come, or as it comes. Q just posted, so I figured I'd put this together and get it out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to come here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you watch these videos, share them on your social media, and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. Also, don't forget to check out the Brave browser. If you guys haven't downloaded it and tried it yet, you need to do it. There's a link in the description. Use it. You download it for free. It's a great product. It's just like Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, or Mozilla Firefox, whatever you're using, but it's better. It blocks the ads. It's free. And when you download it using the link in the description and install it and run it on your computer, they'll make a contribution to Just Informed Talk, the channel. So it's a win-win. You guys get a great product. I use it. I think it's great. I hope you guys like it when you guys use it. So use the link in the description and download the Brave browser today. Now, you can also support the channel over here by finding me on JustinformedNews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. You can come find me on Twitter at JustinformedYou. Links to all this will be in the description. We can have a conversation outside this channel. It's really a great place where we can connect. Also, I have a BitChute channel up. You need to come check it out and subscribe over here just in case anything were to happen. You never know with the big tech censors. They just continue to become more and more authoritarian as we go further into this, and they're going to continue to get worse and worse. But you can come find me over here at bitchute.com/justinformedtalk, and a couple other ways you can help out the channel are both financial. There's Patreon, patreon.com/justinformedtalk. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. No, you're helping create content here on the channel. They've done everything they can. They suppress my views, my organic reach, my suggested videos. They take away all the monetization. They don't run ads. They've basically done at YouTube and big tech Google fascism has done everything it can to destroy this channel, to put it out of business, to make it impossible for somebody to run a channel 24/7 just having an opinion and talking about the news that's happening of the day, because they want to replace people like me and others with the fake news, corporate lying propaganda of MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, you name it. The liars, the people who have pushed this coup on President Trump, the people who President Trump tells us are the enemy of the people. That's who YouTube wants to replace my channel and others like it with. So you guys fight that by coming here and making your donation. It's a great way to support the channel. Also, I have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. It all helps keep this channel alive and going, and I'm really thankful. Now, before we go, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. And today, I want to talk about a verse out of the book of Psalms, Psalm 26, and it's talking about a prayer for vindication. I'm just going to read the first 3 verses because they're really important to, I think, all of us out there, and I want to share them with you. It says, "Vindicate me, Lord, because I have lived with integrity and have trusted in the Lord without wavering. Test me, Lord, and try me. Examine my heart and mind, for your faithful love is before my eyes, and I live by your truth." Now, that's probably the hardest thing to do, right? To just throw yourself on the mercy of God and say, God, You know, I understand these people are out there. There's evil that's surrounding me. There's people that want to tear me down, destroy me, you know, lie about me. As it says in the Bible a lot, it's like, you know, they draw their bows and they set traps for us, right? I just want to live with integrity. I just want to be a good man. I just want to trust in the Lord and know that if I trust without that wavering, that when the Lord tests me, when the Lord tries me, and he examines my heart and mind, that he'll find that my faith is in his love. And that's really what it's all about. I don't have anything other than a desire to be a good man and to help my country and to be there for my family and to be the man that God needs me to be. And I hope that that's something you can take for yourselves too. Just don't try to be everything for everyone. Just remember to try to be every day the man that God needs you to be. Because if you do that, I guarantee you'll be the man that your family needs, that your friends need, and that this world needs. So that's my message to you, and happy belated Christmas, and also a very happy New Year upcoming. And thank you guys for watching this episode. That's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you for watching. Come here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and hit it, bop it, tap it, elbow it, whatever. Hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. But that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.